Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Gaming News, where we discuss all things within the gaming industry. And right now, we are going to cover Activision Blizzard because here it is a regular topic of conversation. So let's discuss Activision Blizzard. As many of you know, the company has gone through a lot of tumultuous issues over the last few years, starting right from the top with Bobby Kotick, J. Allen Brack, to Mike Morhaime, and a whole bunch of other people leaving. We've had to discuss the various allegations and the lawsuits that they've been going through. We have had to discuss their anti-union thoughts. We have had to discuss conflict of interest and a whole host of other things through the course of reporting about Activision Blizzard. And we have more information to cover about Activision Blizzard as they continue to fuel the flames. So let's take a look at it. U.S. Labor Board says Activision Blizzard illegally threatened staff. This is a bold statement to make, but the Labor Board coming at you does not sound like a good time. So, Activision Blizzard has been illegally threatening its own staff, according to prosecutors from a key U.S. labor board. Bloomberg reports that the National Labor Relations Board has said the Call of Duty publisher was also found to be enforcing a social media policy that conflicts with its employees' rights. This follows a complaint filed with the NLRB against Activision Blizzard, claiming that employees were being threatened for discussing wages and working conditions via the company's internal Slack channels. That's never a good place to start. If you're not even able to discuss with your colleagues about wage discrepancies and whatnot, it really sends the signal that the company just does not want you to talk about anything. And in some cases, that can be good depending on how you look at it. There is an element of confidentiality and NDAs that have to be adhered to if you're signing contracts, but not in the cases where it violates your rights to discuss issues that maybe you're having. Now, that news about this labor board filing has come out just hours before a crucial vote among the QA testers of Call of Duty's Warzone studio, Raven Software. Now, as we know, Raven Software and Activision Blizzard have had a very interesting relationship with each other. And IGN has us covered. It started back on December 5th, 2021, where Activision Blizzard laid off at least a dozen quality assurance contractors from the Call of Duty studio, Raven Software. The team was shocked by these developments, given that many of the QA testers on the team were now out of a job after being promised increased wages and even being asked to relocate to Wisconsin. Since Activision Blizzard notified these Raven Software QA contractors that they would be laid off, many actions have been taken by both employees and leadership, including the staging of a walkout and strike, the formation of Activision Blizzard's first union in the Game Workers Alliance, and much more. This article goes into all of the details. December 5th, they lay off at least a dozen QA contractors. The 6th to the 8th, Raven Software walkout over the layoffs. On June the 3rd, or January the 3rd, 2022, Raven QA members send a letter to leadership asking for a response after 3 weeks of silence. Then on the 6th, Activision Blizzard strike fund passes $350,000 as management finally replies. On the 18th, Microsoft announces deal to buy Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion. On the 21st, the QA employees form the first union. Then, members of Raven Software QA team and other Activision Blizzard workers call off the strike action. 2 days after that, the QA testers were told that they will be split into various departments across the studio. On the 25th, Activision Blizzard says they will not voluntarily recognize any union formed by Raven Software. On the 25th, the Game Workers Alliance confirms it is filing a petition with the National Labor Relations Board for its union election. On May 23rd, 2022, Raven Software QA workers officially vote to unionize. Now, from here, we call into question a number of things. At this point, Microsoft has purchased Activision Blizzard. At this point, we have a number of legal battles happening, not just dealing with worker walkouts and union recognition. We also have all of the allegations and the frat boy mentality and calling Bobby Kotick's entire career into question. We've seen articles from members that work for Game Industry Biz talking about how they had time to do all of this for which they violated the law by not hiring enough diverse persons to work for their company, etc., so on and so forth. So at this point, they are going through a lot of different things. And then we look at also the same day, they officially vote to unionize. A group of quality assurance employees at Raven Software officially voted in favor of unionization with the National Labor Relations Board, with a final vote total of 19-4 and 3 members against. The vote count was announced today over an official webcast meeting. Approximately 28 employees were considered eligible to vote. 24 votes were submitted, and 2 of the votes were challenged and rendered invalid. The remaining group voted to legally form the Game Workers Alliance, making it the first North American video game union at a AAA gaming company. Indie studio Vodio Games unionized late last year. So with this, it seems unlikely that the publisher will make this process easy. The company has been reportedly active in discouraging Raven Software employees from voting in favor of the union, both through town halls and official emails, and a Bloomberg report from earlier today indicates that the NLRB is readying an official complaint suggesting their threats were illegal union busting. Wow, that is unprecedented, I believe, that they're ready to just fire everything at Activision Blizzard. It's kind of insane. But now you may be questioning, because Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard, what their stance is. And if you haven't come across these articles, I have them right here. Once again, Game Industry Biz. Yesterday, during a meeting with Xbox boss Phil Spencer, he said he would recognize Raven Software's unionization efforts once the merger with Activision Blizzard is completed. As reported by Kotaku, Spencer added that Microsoft presently doesn't have a relationship with either the Communication Workers of America or Game Workers Alliance. But they say, once the deal closes, we would absolutely support an employees organization that's in place, Spencer said during the meeting. This is fantastic. Now, in response to Raven's unionization, Activision Blizzard said, in part, we believe that an important decision that will impact the entire Raven software studio of roughly 350 people should not be made by 19 Raven employees. If that doesn't feel wrong to you, I'm not sure what does, because the studio is a decent size, certainly. It certainly doesn't make up for a massive portion when it comes to Activision Blizzard. I don't think it's fair to state that of the 350 employees for Raven, that 19 people are the ones that make the decision. You're sending the signal that a jury of 7 to 10 people should not be allowed to decide massive cases where you have hundreds of witnesses and experts. That seems like a ludicrous argument to make by stating that, oh, well, the 19 people doesn't represent the 350 people. It comes off as a little bit sleazy to me. And I don't like that that was their statement. And again, they keep digging that hole deeper and deeper. It's like they don't want the company to exist anymore, and it sucks and it pisses me off. But anyways, there's a little bit more information with this. Game Industry Biz published on the 27th. The SOC Investment Group has released a letter urging Activision Blizzard shareholders to vote against the re-election of several of the company's directors. So they're looking at the idea that these directors should not continue to be in their positions. But ahead of the publisher's annual meeting on June 21st, the SOC has advised the move to stop Bobby Kotick, Brian Kelly, Robert Morgado, Robert Corti, Barry Mayer, and Peter Nolan from retaining their positions. In the letter, the SOC said that each director failed either to recognize that Activision Blizzard for many years maintained unsafe workplace exhibiting frequent and repeated sexual harassment, sexual assault, and gender discrimination, or to appropriately address the company's frat house culture once it was publicly revealed. The SOC calls for the replacement of the incumbent directors, but says it's far from sufficient to restore shareholder confidence in the company's board. And again, it just makes me question the whole situation regarding this. Like, it feels a lot like the shareholders and the board and Activision Blizzard are completely discombobulated because of everything that is going on. And I just don't know if the SOC feels like this is going to be effective or not. Honestly, if Microsoft is going to continue through negotiations and whatnot. Honestly, with how much legal heat that some of these people have brought, honestly, I would just fire them all. Honestly, I would fire all of the upper management, to be honest with you, and start looking at fixing everything and really making it the studio it once was, developing amazing and powerful, friendly, awesome games, and not having the culture behind the curtains. But anyways, there is a little bit more of a point in this article that I would like to cover, and that is other recent efforts to hold Activision Blizzard accountable have seen some traction. However, ahead of last year's annual meeting, the final decision on executive pay was delayed by 1 week following urges from shareholders to vote against the firm's say on pay proposal, which included a $150 million payout for Bobby Kotick. Even with the delay, the proposal only just made it through, with 54% of shareholders voting in favor. And this is what I'm talking about. It is so split, not only with the shareholders, but with some of the members of the company, that it really makes me question what happens with Activision Blizzard. I honestly feel like Microsoft should take the IPs, should assess the workers, and make sure that all of these people are not inherently toxic to the environment, and anyone who is particularly toxic to the environment, let them go. Let them sink their own ships and deal with the whole package that they have given themselves for whatever reason that they have done this. Because honestly, I do not feel as though slashing pay is really going to help at this point. I really don't feel like the company will continue to survive, especially with the amount of bad press that they have. However, that's just my opinion. So, with all of that, I'd love to know what you're thinking about the successful union. This is fantastic, in my opinion, but I'd love to know if you're on the same page that we finally have unions happening in video gaming. I'm curious to see if you are happy about Phil Spencer's take and acceptance of any worker related union. And I'm very curious to see how you feel about the SOC urging shareholders to vote against re-election of the directors of Activision Blizzard, and see if you feel like that is going to be successful, or if that's going to bring on more problems for the company and ultimately for Microsoft, who is obviously going to inherit a lot of these particular issues. So, with all of that said, thank you so much for being part of the Patreon. I appreciate all of you being here and supporting my work. If you have suggestions for topics for me to cover, let me know in Discord. I would love to chat with some of you about things you would love to hear about and read about. And with that, you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.